Using a spoon handed to him by a guard, the prisoner pried open the baseboard along the wall and retrieved a small mirror he had hidden there earlier. He then used the handle of the spoon to shatter it into pieces. Carefully, he picked out a rectangular shard from the fragments and examined it as if he had uncovered treasure, knowing it was about to play a crucial role in what would happen next. Fortunately, his cellmate spoke up at the perfect moment, snapping Mike back to reality. He quickly gathered the remaining shards scattered on the floor. Just as he was about to flush them down the toilet to permanently destroy the evidence, a guard suddenly appeared for a routine check. In a panic, Mike shoved the shard into his mouth. The pieces in the toilet were still unflushed, and if the guard noticed them, it would be catastrophic. Luckily, this inspection was merely perfunctory. While the guard frisked his cellmate, Mike discreetly pulled the flush chain, washing away the evidence. When the guard asked questions, Mike calmly claimed he had just used the bathroom and hadn't tidied up yet, plausible enough to avoid suspicion. The guard then began a meticulous search of the cell, opening closets, scattering belongings, and even inspecting under the bed. Previously, someone had attempted an escape by removing the bed's metal bars to dig a tunnel, so the guard was thorough. Finding nothing suspicious, the guard finally departed. Once clear, Mike took the long mirror shard and securely affixed it to a toothbrush handle. Just like that, he had created a makeshift surveillance device. Positioned outside the door, it allowed them to monitor every guard's movement, giving their escape plan an extra layer of protection. The tools needed for breaking out came from the bed frame itself, the very piece the guards guarded most closely. They unscrewed the bolts and removed a crucial section. Then they shifted a stack of papers in the corner and used the spoon to pry up the floorboards, revealing the solid concrete beneath. They planned to chisel through it, knowing it would produce loud noise that could alert patrolling guards. But Mike couldn't hesitate. Raising the tool, he struck the concrete repeatedly. The banging terrified their new cellmates, who immediately covered their ears. Each hit felt like an announcement of their presence. Footsteps approached, heightening the tension. Yet Mike pressed on, silently hoping they wouldn't be discovered. Remarkably, the guard walked past as if oblivious. Their careful planning had paid off. Prisoners in the neighboring cell had been bribed with candy to break their toilet, prompting maintenance repairs that masked the noise from Mike's chiseling. The thick concrete resisted for hours. Mike eventually ran out of energy, and others took turn. After 3 continuous hours, they finally broke through the concrete layer. Next, they needed to remove the soil underneath. One person dug, while others transported the dirt using food bowls and bags. Gradually, a sizable hole formed. Mike lit a torch to confirm it led underground. Once they located the drainage outlet, it would provide a path to escape. To ensure safety, Mike decided to send someone down that night to scout the way. Beforehand, they refilled the excavated dirt and secured the hole with boards to prevent discovery. For that night's operation, they crafted 2 human-shaped dummies from waste paper. Strings attached above allowed them to simulate movement, creating the illusion of sleeping prisoners. When the guard arrived, Mike and another cellmate moved the boards aside and hid, while the dummies convinced the guard that the cell remained occupied. With the guard satisfied, Mike retrieved the hacksaw and other tools hidden in the boards. The 2 prisoners followed their plan and descended through the hole, while a cellmate tossed down a rope and secured it to his foot so he could be alerted when Mike returned. They soon reached a metal grate. To avoid being heard by patrolling guards, Mike paused after every 20 cuts while sawing. The grate was made of tough metal, requiring both of them to take turns. After half an hour, they finally sawed through the bars. They climbed through a window into a basement, hoping to find a passage to the outside. Unfortunately, every exit was secured with iron doors. With no alternative, Mike reinstalled the grate. Nearby, he noticed discarded windows with bolts that could be sawed off for use as keys. Mike began cutting one when he heard approaching guards. Quickly, they hid. 2 guards had come down to chat, unaware of the prisoner's presence. They doubled back shortly after, but noticed nothing unusual. Once the area was clear, Mike resumed sawing. After 30 focused minutes, he removed the bolt and tested it. It worked as a key. Clicking the iron door open, they pulled out pre-prepared kerosene lamps and entered the corridor. The passage was long, and they had no way of knowing where it led. Uniform locks made the bolt key invaluable. They reached another basement but encountered the same guards. Hiding once more, they waited until the coast was clear before proceeding to the next cell door and down the endless corridor. Finally, they found a door leading to the sewer, blocked by a spring lock. Mike sawed the latch off and wedged the bar back in with a match. leaving it functional yet undetectable. Entering the sewer, they encountered thick cement blocking the way forward. The cement was solid, but the adjacent wall's material was weaker and could be broken within days. They planned to return with tools the next morning. Dawn approached, and the guards had yet to start rounds. They returned to their cell just in time, tidied the scene, and lay back as if asleep. Lacking a watch, they improvised a timing device with bottles and sand. Each run of sand measured exactly 30 minutes, allowing them to coordinate shifts in the sewer and track chiseling progress. 3 days later, they had excavated a substantial cavern. Suddenly, the opening collapsed, burying John under rubble. Mike frantically dug through bricks and dirt, eventually freeing him just in time. As they rotated for rest, a guard appeared. Charlie temporarily blocked the hole with clothing. The guard, investigating a missing hacksaw, was called away, allowing the prisoners to resume their work. The team worked tirelessly, eventually breaking through the wall. Freedom was nearly theirs. Crawling through the sewer, they found a ladder and emerged outside the prison. A taxi nearby tempted them to flee, but others were still below. They regrouped, planning a coordinated escape that night. John, concerned for his family's safety, chose to stay behind despite the chance for freedom. At that moment, disaster struck. A guard announced the warden wanted to see Paul. It became clear Paul had betrayed them. Their escape plan collapsed. Although his wife had dropped the lawsuit, Paul still faced additional prison time. To gain favor with the warden, he had turned against his cellmates. Locked in a new cell, Paul watched as his former companions were captured. The story concluded with a stark lesson. No matter how meticulously a plan is crafted, trust is fragile, and human unpredictability can ruin even the most carefully orchestrated escape.